Hello, my good people. It is your girl Tay coming at you today with a review on the Hulu series This Is Us Season 5 episode Tress. So if you're interested in what I gotta say, stay tuned. This TV show starts off Randall. He is interviewing a host of other black therapists, men and women, so he can find him a new therapist, which will be able to kind of console him better, who will resonate with him better than the other previous white woman therapists, since he now wants to discuss racial topics when in therapy. So he's going through this whole interview process, and basically ain't nobody working. I mean, he listening to these interviews, he's not impressed. This man actually ends up falling asleep on one of the therapists. I mean, she was boring. She was just saying all these different type of letters and initials and stuff. And it was like, lady, don't nobody care about that. Like, she literally had to ask, are you frozen? He said, nah. So he wasn't frozen. He was just sleep, sis, because you bored him to death. Then we go to the kitchen scene with Beth, who is talking about how bomb pancakes she made. I'm just like, nah, I don't know about the other girls, but I would have been thankful for the pancakes. I love it when my mama cooked pancakes, shoot. So she's just bragging how she put her foot in the pancakes, and the teenage girls are being teenage girls and sassy and not wanting to be appreciative of their loved ones and all of this other stuff. And Randall comes in and says that he might have a match for one of the therapists who really clicked with, and he also had a daughter as well, which is one of the reasons why they got along so well. And in this scene, we also learned that, I don't know if Tess is vegan, plant-based, or what, but she refuses to eat the pancakes and has a little toot talking about, well, you refuse to use cage-free eggs. And then she says, I ate some yogurt instead. So you don't eat eggs unless it's cage-free, but you still eat yogurt, which has dairy in it? Whoo, child, I'm talking about teenagers be so smart. They be too smart for their own good. So then we skip over to the scene with Madison and Kevin. It's super early in the morning, still dark, and Madison kind of sneaks out of the bed to go put on makeup. So what I am assuming is that she may have some type of insecurity as far as how she looks, which causes her to want to put on makeup before he even gets to see her in her 100% true natural state. And it also goes to show how much they still have to learn about each other as well. And it gets really interesting because she actually acts to define their relationship, and it's just like, oh my goodness, you are pregnant with this man, twins. He didn't kind of sort of engage, and here you go asking to define the relationship, define the engagement, which type of engagement. Like, it's a lot. It's really a lot. So then it gets really, really exciting because Kate and Toby finally get to meet their potential birth mother's future adoptive child. I think that's how you say that. So as they continue to talk, we learn that the mother who is putting her child up for adoption actually lost her high school sweetheart to cancer. When I say my heart sank, because people who are in deep love like that and lose their loved ones, that's such a deep rooted hurt. And for her to have gotten pregnant the first night, back out on the prowl, It says a lot. So when she said that, I mean, she thought about this decision more than anything else, I believe it, because she's going through the conflict of whether she wants to keep a child or not by a man whom she literally just met. And now she's in a situation where she might be tied to that person if she decides to keep the baby her entire life. So she doesn't even know for sure if that's the type of person she wants to have a lifelong connection with. But also, that baby is still half of her. So she would be getting rid of something that's half of her. She already has a child, so she is already a single mother. So just those different nuances and complications is what makes that storyline so juicy. So then we go back to Madison and Kevin, and they are, I guess, on some type of afternoon lovers walk. I don't know. But anyway, some random fan comes up and notices that she is pregnant, that being Madison, after just ravagingly asking Kevin for an autograph, completely ignoring Madison's existence at first. And she just does not put any level of security or confidence into Madison. I mean, she begins talking about how it took her a year and she's still running off of her belly from having her son. And this is after gushing over Kevin, whom is also about to star in a brand new movie which has a sex scene in it. So this is all contributing to Madison's stress level and her insecurity. And so Kevin is doing what he does ever so well, which is everything up, asking all of the wrong questions and not saying none of the right things. Gosh, he really gets on my nerve. It's like he just, everything he touched turns to garbage. So now he's in this situation. He's gotten this young woman in this situation. And basically what she's saying is she's just so frustrated with all of the complications with a pregnancy with twins, and by that with a man she barely knows that you're living with, that's like, really, y'all are strangers about to have a lifelong connection. So then we skip to like one of my favorite parts of this show, which is when Tess got in trouble for the video that she made with her friend. And so in the video, they're basically, I mean, give the people who got them messed up the what. For Tess's friend, she's the one to come up first, and she's talking about, hey, you gonna call me by my proper pronouns because I am not a she, I am not a her, I am a they, okay? So call me by my proper pronouns, by my right name. And I'm with you with that. Express yourself, because it's quite simple for someone to simply call you what you politely ask them to do so. Okay, and so then Tess, she goes on about not wanting anyone to touch her hair because apparently one of the teachers touched her hair, and she let her know. She made it very clear, don't touch my hair, as Miss Queen Solange said. And so I love the video. I love the video. I loved how these young group of millennials, I love how they really stood up for themselves, because the things that they are complaining about are just quite unacceptable. And it really just sounds like a bunch of adults thinking that they don't need to respect those who are younger than them because simply they are younger. Listen, I would have been that cool auntie, like, okay, y'all, like, come on down there. You know, I mean, let them off the hook. At least they wasn't really doing it. They weren't being profane about it. Like, they were being very radical. Now you already know Hello, radical black chick, that's me. They weren't really being vulgar in their language. They were just being rebellious. So we learned that Tess actually asked for the teacher to not touch her hair anymore, which she did, but she did not stop touching other children's hair. And it's just like, okay, so if that person had a problem with it, you don't think that anybody else would? So you just gonna do what you wanna do, huh? Basically, Beth is like, okay, but it ain't your job to be Captain Save-A-Ho. Baby, Tess been doing her reading because you wanna know what she said. Silence in the face of the oppressor is to be complicit with the oppression. When she said this, I said, yes! Yes! I don't even know who said it, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta use that. Because I just love the woman that Tess is becoming. She's just really growing into herself. She is standing her ground. And it is quite beautiful. And I just honestly wish that one day I will raise young, beautiful black women who will do the same. Then we cut back to Madison and Kevin again. And Madison begins to open up exactly what are the things that are frustrating her, which we are reminded of her eating disorder, because that is how her and Kate met. They met in some type of like AA group or whatever for people who struggle with weight issues of all kinds. So we are reminded of that, and she's pregnant now. So she has to eat. She has to eat so she can continue to feed her babies and keep her body healthy for her babies as well. And so she is saying how she literally has to put an ultrasound picture on the refrigerator because that is her reminder for her to eat. Because it's not just about her anymore. And then she goes into the stress of every time she goes to the doctor, she's getting weighed. And they are telling her how she has gained more and more weight from being pregnant. And with her previous condition, how she has to pretend that she is joyful of it when really in reality it's the complete opposite of what she wanted, because she was bulimic. And one part that really stuck with me is when she pointed out how Kevin just walks around like an Olympic swimmer all day. Hell yeah, he does. Hell yeah. He walks around with his handsome white man privilege, and it absolutely irritates my soul. It's like, what do you grow through? What do you learn? The character development, I don't see it with Kevin. I really enjoyed how when Randall and Beth had their conversation about Tess, how she was going to receive a punishment, that Randall admitted the fact that he really enjoyed her video. He enjoyed the video, and he said that he was proud of her for, again, like I said, for standing her ground, taking up for herself and expressing herself. Because he was worried that Tess would be that nervous, anxious wreck like he was growing up, and she is not. She's really growing into her own self. However, my good sis Tess got her phone took for 6 weeks. I said, damn, that's a long time. 6 weeks? You couldn't just do a month? Girl. But what really got me is when Tess called him fascist. I'm like, okay, you need to pipe down. You need to pipe down now. All right now, sis. We was rooting for you before now. Come on. Don't be calling your daddy fascist now. Because how dare you even have anything to say after you get grounded? Like, why are you doing anything to make it worse? What I have noticed a lot in this episode is that we got more of the Madison and Kevin's storyline, because then we cut back to Madison and Kevin again. And they are in the garage in Kevin's little workout studio area. And then he begins to open up about how he feels the need to continue to be that handsome white guy and be completely ripped. And it's like, but dude, your new movie role is a freaking lawyer who is going to be wearing like 3-piece suits and stuff. Anyway, so basically how that being his new addiction working out, because earlier in the show we learned that he worked out 2.5 times a day. I mean, in some type of twisted way, these people were divinely guided to be together and procreate together, because they both got body image issues, weight issues. Whoo child. All in all, I truly enjoyed this episode. I loved how we got to see Tess's character development and get a deeper look into Madison's and Kevin's relationship. So I can't wait until the next episode of This Is Us. Make sure that you let me know how you feel about this episode below. Anything I said, how do you feel about it? You can comment, and I'll catch y'all in my next one.